what's up, y'all? This is Glizzy, and this Barber Son TV, and this is the barber story. I'm gonna give my mother a story. I'm gonna let y'all in on a little bit of how it was growing up with a schizophrenic bipolar mother. All right. So my mother's name is Barbara. The whole world know that. I call myself Barber Son because I'm Barber Son. So my mother bipolar and schizophrenic. If you can label her bipolar 1 through 10, it's a 10. If you can label her schizophrenic 1 through 10, it's a 10. So when my mother don't take her medicine, my mother be off. Like, my mother just be in her own world. I can't really explain the bipolar schizophrenic person. You can only Google it or ask a scientist. I'm not a scientist. I can't fix it. If I fix it, I fix it. But over the years growing up, like when I was growing up as a kid, it's like I didn't know what it was. I'm thinking my mother's just a crazy person. I couldn't understand it. Like I used to curse my mother out for doing this. I couldn't understand. Like we used to argue and everything. But now that I got older, I understand that my mother's sick. She got an illness. It's like, long as she ain't got no stress on her mind, she take her medicine, she peaceful. But when she feel like it's stress on her, or my brothers go to jail, or any type of stress can trigger her outburst. So I try to keep my mother stress as low as possible. Like she want anything, I try to give her as much as I can give her in my power, so she don't gotta put too much pressure on herself. That's why I need YouTube to just change my life forever. Just give me a lot of money so I can take care of my mother, make sure my mother all right, make sure my mother get her medicine, make sure my mother get everything. But like growing up, I used to get a crazy check. So like me being, I haven't learned disorders and all that, my mother knew how to put me on programs to survive. So I was always getting a check. I never had a bad upbringing. Like my mother might kirk out and I had to live with my grandma for a while because my mother wasn't on the medicine. But my mother not a bad person. My mother's like the greatest person in the world when she taking her medicine. When she ain't taking her medicine, that's just what she on. But I love my mother to death. It's like my mother don't do no wrong in my eyes. Even if my mother was to walk outside and act crazy, I act crazy with her before I blame her. It's like my mother don't do no wrong in my eyes. She raised me. My mother can do anything she want to do. Like I'm here to make sure my mother's all right. Like I can't change all her problems, but the ones I could fix, I will. That's my sacrifice. Like when my mother needed my heart to survive for 5 minutes and I gotta leave forever, I'll leave. It's up to her. It's like her decision. She brought me this world. She can take me out of this world. So if she wanna be alone with me, she can be alone with me. I made a sacrifice to my life. Like I sacrificed for my mother. I'm gonna give you a scenario. Don't you not guys be like, man, I hold this block down. This is my block. This is my mother. I hold my mother down. I ain't going to jail. I don't want to leave my mother out here to take care of herself. I don't want to leave my mother out here to worry about what her son doing. You know what I'm saying? I want my mother to live her years peacefully until she go. And then when she go, then I can probably live the way I want to live. But until then, it's just about my mother, bro. I'm like all out. I be hearing guys, they don't talk to their mother for 2-3 weeks. They be beefing with their mother. I never beef with my mother, right or wrong. Might be one day, but the next day I'm calling my mother. I love my mother more than anything in this world. You only get one mother. I cherish my mother more than I cherish my father. My father left. My father left. He wasn't strong enough. My mother never left me. My mother kept me from even with a mental illness, my mother still kept me. My mother never left me. My mother made the best of the best with nothing. She made nothing look like something. She made a little bit look like a whole lot of everything. I ain't had no bad days. She made her bad days look great. So if I want to say anybody my superhero, my mother my superhero. So when I see guys and my friends, y'all should cherish y'all mother. I don't care about your girlfriends. I don't care about your father. I don't care about your brothers, sisters. Your mother's the queen of the house, bro. You just all out treat your mother. She never do wrong. She never tell you nothing wrong. Like when people be beefing with their mother, that hurt me because I'm like, I'm all out mama's boy. Like I don't know what I do in this world without my mother. I don't even really want to think that far. But like growing up, my mother, when she on her time that she ain't taking her medicine, it's like me to take care of myself. But I got a big brother, he usually be around at that time back in the day to take care of whatever my mother couldn't take care of. He was the father figure. But growing up with bipolar schizophrenic mother, my mother might run up and down the street. Everybody on Instagram be like, ain't your mother this, ain't your mother that. I got a sick mother, bro. I can't control that. It don't get to me. I don't feel no type of way. Like back in the day before Instagram cameras, my mother been doing this. I'm not embarrassed about nothing my mother do. It don't get to me. It's like my mother shouldn't be doing it. But it's like that's a part of life. We're not scientists. One thing I notice about the hood, all hood mothers got some type of diagnosis. All hood mothers off in their own way. Just already got mother from the hood. That's just a part of life. So I just cherish it. Whatever. It's the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever come with it. But I'm barbered out. Y'all know that. Everybody know that. When they come to my mother, I don't even play. And it's like the Barber son curse. Everybody that ever played with Barber, I don't know where they at today. Like I couldn't even tell you. Like just a very specific set of skills that society got for her. She protected by the atmosphere. But yeah, growing up, it wasn't hard. I ain't really had no hard lives. My mother just got a disability that nobody can understand but God, and we just pray for her. But my mother good. And when she ain't good, she go to the hospital to get her help, and we make sure she is good. I just try the best to cope with it. So if y'all see my mother out here in the world, just remember my mother got a disorder. So like, speak to her. She a hell of a lady. Like my mother be outside more than any of you guys. My mother be with the men. Like my mother be in the trenches. My mother do what y'all can't do. My mother was probably the realest that ever did it. She probably realer than all of us, even me. She been outside for 50 some years. She ran back in the day with the toughest of the toughest. Like, so when people be like, Andrew left your mother in the hood, I can't leave my mother in the hood, bro. I can't tell my mother what to do. Just my mother. Now my sister or my girlfriend, my mother gonna be in the hood regardless. My mother 50 some years old. I can't move my mother out the hood at 50 some years old and expect her to start a new life. Who she gonna start it with? My mother comfortable. My mother the type of person you could just give her cut and she gonna stay where she at. She don't need you to move nowhere, no nothing like that. But I see it's getting big and all that. Like I gotta spend more time with my mother. We gotta go take some vacations or something. We gotta go live life. Let her enjoy this shit. We can trip out in Cancun or something. But it's like, yeah, that's just the story of Barbara. Barbara just get crazy. I used to ain't realize why my father left, but now that I think about it, anybody that can date my mother is a hell of a motherfucker. I would have left and saved myself too. So shout out to my father, man, because I used to think when I was a kid, like my father left, used to hold him accountable. But then I think about Barbara, I see why you left. You knew she wasn't gonna hurt the kid. She hurt you though. I feel you, man. One thing about a running father though, you gonna always catch him when he ain't got no legs. So though I'm missing you, I'm living without you. But Barbara the GOAT, the whole city know that, man. Barbara son falling away, man. I'm gonna drop some new music for Barbara. I'm lying like a motherfucker. I'm drunk. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. YouTube, what's up? I'm here to stay, Barbara son.